Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Yeah, I'll get y'all some more fire action. Trying to keep this thing balanced so it don't fall over. But anyway, how y'all doing tonight? Hope y'all are doing good. It's Thursday night. First day off, first night off. Nice. We did some searching today, but the weather was kind of horrible, so we didn't really film any of it. But there'll be more days, right? There'll be more days. That's how I look at it. But I did want to come on and visit with y'all a little bit tonight. I'm gonna start doing a thing on Thursday nights. I think to where we talk about a little bit of all the cases at once, a little bit, just a brief on each one, and kind of get them back out there. And then because I was creating a thumbnail which ended up with so full that there was probably 30 pictures on there from different cases, and some of them people have already been arrested, already been charged, but yet they haven't been found. So that's why I was like, man, I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna work on it a little bit and figure it out how I want to do it and do it. But I wanted to come on tonight and talk a little bit about a few things that's really been. I was chatting with a few buddies today, and we were kind of chatting about some of the cases, and I'm kind of getting them hooked on some of these cases. They're not like really true crimers, they just like to go and search, right? And they have fun doing that. And I haven't really had anybody with me in a long time, so it was kind of fun to have somebody with me and have somebody to visit with and chat with a little bit while we were doing different things, droning and things like that. And normally when I'm out there in the woods, it's me and Ruby, right? If they're flying a drone, they don't really come in the woods or whatever not. So I usually just, talk to the camera, right? That's kind of how it works. But I wanted to come on tonight and just talk a little bit about Sebastian Rogers for a little bit. Not long, not like last night. Last night I did end up at almost an hour because I just got so worked up. I wanted to kind of come back to it. Sebastian William Jake Rogers is a 15-year-old out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. He has autism, and special needs. He's on the spectrum. He's a happy-go-lucky kid, always smile on his face. Came from basically his bio dad lived in Clarksville and his mom lived in Hendersonville with her husband, which I think the whole world knows by now. And on February 26th, around 6:33 a.m. Katie Proudfoot, the bio mother, and the stepfather, which was supposedly in Memphis, made a three-way call to the sheriff's department to report Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers missing. Okay, this is a kid that we learned as this went on that he did not like to be barefoot. He had a firing accident when he was younger and would not go outside without shoes. Plus, teenage kids at 15 carry their phone everywhere. He liked to play Nintendo Switch, Minecraft, all kinds of stuff like that. And he was a chess player. He was smart. And supposedly, as smart as this kid is, a chess player and everything else, as smart as he is, and as much as he would not go outside without shoes, the bio mom says that she don't know, put it this way, she don't know why he walked out that door, and said that he walked out barefooted with just sweatshirt, sweatpants, no shoes, and barefoot means barefoot, no socks too, right? We got to look at that, that barefoot means barefoot. That means he went out in his pato power, right? Barefoot. And with the little keychain flashlight that we don't even know if it worked or not. It was just something he played with and fidgeted with. Like, that's some of those fidgeting tools. I have one. I have these two little things that are magnets that I roll around sometimes when I'm at work. And, your stress builds up. Or some people just do it like Sebastian may have autism. Maybe it's something that made him relax. Makes you feel comfortable, right? And sometimes people just use those little fidget tools. Those little spinners that used to be out real popular a few years ago. And my kids had every single color. I remember that. Those little fidget spinners or whatever. And then they had the magnetic rings that you would put on your fingers, and then you could twirl them around. They would spin around, and there was so many different fidget spinners. But, you know, I I kind of wanted to break it down as, you know, as a little bit about Sebastian. And, you know, his teachers loved him. His counselors loved him. They were fighting for this young man. They were helping this young man. They saw what was going on in his life, in his everyday life, and they were trying to reach out, trying to help. You know, he would come to them with certain things, and they were calling CPS, and they were, you know, on the stepfather, and they were doing these things to try to protect this young man, and they tried, right? It just somehow didn't work, but they tried. They did their part. They tried. All they can do is call, make the, you know, as he says it, make the reports, right? You know, they called it in, explained to him what happened. I'm sure they came out to the school. They talked to him. They did whatever. They probably worked all that out, or sure, whatever. Then they went to the house. They worked it out. Whatever they did, they did. And, you know, and we know that, you know, the stepfather, they're both military, mom and stepdad, and they both Navy. They pretty much, the stepfather had a daughter from another woman, one of his many wives. You know, he had 5 wives before Katie or whatever. Oh, she was number 5, sorry, excuse me. But remember, hold on, guys, I forget every time. Trigger warning times 200 million on this case. And allegedly, this is my big alleged bubble. Everything I say here, don't take it as fact. I'm just an alleged bubble, right? I'm just a big dummy. Call me that, I guess, whatever you want to say. But allegedly, these are my opinions, my thoughts, my free speech, my speculation, my theories of what I think happened. And it's time to bring a little, I don't know, little twist to this thing, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But allegedly, these are all my opinions. Do your own research, guys. You know, y'all's comments, y'all's alone, not to reflect the channel. We do our research together. We are a big family here. A big-hearted little family. There you go. We're the Ruby Pack Strong, right? And, you know, Sebastian was he was a special kid. I call him a special kid. You know, he had special needs, and I think they're extra special. They need extra care. They need extra love. They need extra nurturing. They need encouragement. They need sometimes for you to help make sure they stay in their routine and don't break it, and, you know, so you don't deal with all those different things that happens when you break routines. Even as adults, when we break our routine, we feel all messed up, right? That's how I feel today. Like, I'm so used to work, and then I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know? And luckily we had that thing planned today, so we were able to do that. But I mean, the weather was kind of nasty, so that fire might be a little smoky, although it looks pretty right now, don't it? Wow, I'm shocked that it's burning that good with wet wood. But I've been trying to keep some wood in the barn and keep it dry, but, you know, sometimes it just don't work out that way. Because I burn a lot of wood doing these videos, for sure, believe me. But, you know, poor Sebastian, you know, that all we really know is he was the last seen alive footage of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was at the Texas Roadhouse on the evening of February 25th, 2024. And they departed there around, I think it was like 6:25 when they leave there. Roughly 9-minute drive home. Supposedly, she has his on dash cam. She had to show that for proof of life, which means, you know, she's a big red flag suspect to me if she had to show that. She took a lie detector test, says she passed. I still don't believe that. My opinion, I feel that, you know, I think they tell you a lot of things. We got to look at what they've told us in this, and it hasn't all been truthful. So I get it. They got to hide things close. And you're never going to tell somebody that's a suspect that they failed, right? You're just not. And, you know, I mean, it's just, you're not going to tell them that. And because you don't want to spook them and you don't want them to run, right? And then we know the stepfather never took a test because there's no proof of a test out there. There's been nothing released. LE has not even come out and said, they haven't cleared him for one, plus they haven't come out and said he was even at work. So we still got to go by where was he, right? He could have been anywhere because we know now there's a few pings on 2 devices I think a truck and a phone, or a truck and something else. I don't know. It's two devices, maybe an iPad or tablet, laptop. I don't know. Something pinged in that area of the Hendersonville home on the same night that Sebastian went missing. Now, this has been put out there. I'm not saying it's been vetted or anything else. I know he's trying to backtrack it, but I don't know if it's been proven, if it's, law enforcement not really telling us anything. So I don't really know if it's, 100% accurate, not accurate. That's why I say don't take nothing I say as fact. Just take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of this I hear, right? So I'm trying to start approaching these videos a little bit differently, if y'all don't notice by now. But I need to, I want to discuss them. I want to bring them up, but I got to be careful too, right? Like, I've done my research. I know what's going on in this case, and y'all clearly know that I know what's going on in this case, and we all know what's going on in this case, right? We all know what it's not a, okay, coincidence is one or two people, not say 10,000 people. I'm just saying a number. 10,000 people don't look at the same picture and say something totally different, right? Sometimes that may happen. But in this case, what I'm trying to get at is everybody feels the same way, right? Unless you're on one of the sides, the other side, the Katie and the Chris side, right? Then you don't feel that way. But I don't think they have very many on their side unless they're paying them. I really don't feel that way. I think the only way they get people on their side is to pay them. And pay them quite healthy, $15,000 supposedly. That $15,000 could have went to the reward fund for your son that you never begged for, never pleaded for, that you ghosted and left. You Joe dirted him, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it that. Some people call it ghosted. It goes with, I was never shocked that they left, because she left the first morning that he went missing, right? She hadn't even reported him missing yet, and she already left, right? So, I mean, come on. She ghosted him from the minute because she couldn't find him in his bed. So it was no surprise to me that they left. I still think they left and went across state lines for a reason. I think they thought they were going to get caught, and they were really scared in the beginning that they might get caught, that something might be on camera. If you notice, they didn't talk for 8 days. And then I think law enforcement probably came out and put a little heat, but then kind of let up. And they thought, ooh, okay, we're in the clear. Now we can get out here and talk, right? I think they didn't talk in the beginning because they felt like, oh my God, they're going to get us, right? I think that's why they did it. And can you imagine with the way she slipped, waiting 8 days to talk? If she'd have talked the first day, how many times she'd have tripped over her own tongue? He would have been coughing so many times, his probably throat would have hurt. He probably would have said, no more, cut, right? Just cut the damn tape. Probably. And I mean, if she slipped that bad after 8 freaking days of programming her brain, I can't imagine the first day. That's why I really want to know. The one thing I really want to know, guys, and I'll get close when I say this, is what did she tell the Popo that day? I would like to see how her statement lines up with all of her mini story changing. All of her, what do they call those things? Nursery rhymes when you're a baby. You know how sometimes you stretch them a little bit, or you add a little to them, or you change them a little bit because your kids start staying up a little lot. They don't fall asleep right at the end of the story, so you got to add a little to the story to get them to fall asleep, right? We've all been there. We've all done that. That's what she did. It was a little quick. Went to bed at 9. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's it. Went to bed at 10. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Went to bed at 10, heard a thud. Called out to him. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Like every time she told somebody else, it was a total different story. So, I don't know, man. I guess she was telling nursery rhymes. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. That's kind of the way I look at it. Maybe it was a nursery rhyme. But, there's been a lot of people searching, guys, for this young man. And it's not a funny thing at all. It's just, we got to joke sometimes to get a little sense of humor. But when it comes to actually talking about Sebastian, it's about this young man. All this other drama and this speculation and this, this YouTube talk and all this stuff that everybody's doing. And, we try to shed light. There's so much negative, bad things going on in the world that sometimes you have to be a little comedy or a little. I'm not much like that. I just don't have that in me. I don't know why. I'm not big on being comedy about it. I guess I take them too seriously, maybe, but maybe I need to let up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I need to let back on the reins a little and try to add a little difference to it, right? Maybe. I don't think I can do it, but I can always try, right? Sometimes I get funny, but not very often. But, you know, I look at this case as... It's cold. I'm cold, sorry. Anyway, I feel that we all feel, I believe, and I say we, I feel, and I think we all feel the same. I think we all agree that something transpired around 3 a.m. or before. I mean, it could have been directly after the roadhouse, after that 9-minute dash cam. She could have turned that thing off and still went somewhere else. We don't know that she automatically went home right then and there. We don't know that. I mean, you know, if his truck did for sure ping in that area, then I think it was more around the time of the 3 a.m. mark that they're talking about. I think that's when it happened, I think. I don't think it was more around after the roadhouse type video thing. But I've always felt like they tried to create a scent trail. You see how hard they pound on this dog thing when we know it's false? Like, they want that dog thing, guys. I'm going to move over a little bit. I might as well start showing my face a little. Well, it's dark anyway, but I think I'm getting to the point where I get comfortable a little bit with showing myself a little bit more now. It takes a little while, guys, when you're just a country boy, right? You know, you live in a small town and you're not used to this stuff, you know. But I'll get there eventually. But, you know, when you stop and think about, they were kind of in a rural area, right? Kind of like Summer Wells. They were in a rural area, which I've always said that Katie copied Don and Candace. And now there's a bunch of rumors going around that the Proudfoots, that Kathy, the Bowersock, the Sticky Sock, is related to the Wells, which wouldn't surprise me none at all. They're all cuckoo, right? I mean, you know, what they did to Nina is I mean, who would not say that something's not right? I mean, to hear that poor woman bawl like that on TV years later, I mean, that's sad. That it still traumatizes her to think about it. He scared her that bad, and he probably smiles and laughs about it, right? Like, why he's probably smacking around Katie, he's probably smiling and laughing about all the ones he did it to, right? I think that's why he had so many wives, is because he can only smack them around for so long before they left his ass. And I don't know. I think they're stuck together like Twinkies. I think they'll even maybe be cellmates. I don't know. They might even put them in the same cell together. Y'all go ahead. Y'all two Twinkies. Y'all live in there forever. You know, we'll give you one plate of food a day. Y'all can share it. And they'll be fighting over like cats and dogs, right? I bet. You know, maybe barbecue Thursdays, huh? I don't know how jail works, but I'm just saying. I don't know if they have a different menu like schools or what, but... maybe they have different menu. Maybe they'll get barbecue once every now and then, right? But I don't know. I'm at the point now to where there's not really, until the arrests are made now, which I think are coming really soon. I really feel that way. I think that they got enough. I don't know if they're waiting for that 26 just to say, you know what? Kind of like, you know, they did Leilani, like they waited a little bit till like Thanksgiving. That FBI just tagged a pop right there, right? It was like, right at the holiday. I'm wondering, you know, that 26th date means a lot to her. I'm wondering if they're going to wait and just surprise her like ding dong on the 26th. It wouldn't surprise me. And like I said, karma sometimes is why, yeah, right? But we do have to not forget that we're in this for Sebastian. We're doing what we're doing for Sebastian. When we go search, we're searching for Sebastian. I could care less about Tweedledee and Tweedledum, right? I could care less about the Kentucky Fried Chicken eaters. It doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about that. I mean, if I thought it'd make them tell the truth, the hell right, I'd bring them a whole ice chest full of barbecue. If I thought it'd make them tell the truth, then I'll bring them 2 ice chests full. I mean, that, you know, but we can't stop with the searches. We have to search, right? Because we don't know. Although I'm starting to lean more towards, if you look at how the dominoes fell, if you think about it in these ways, right? Okay, Sebastian was used to being by himself, right? A little. As long as he had his video games, as long as he had a cell phone, he was fine, right? Hear my new theory out. Y'all just hear it, and y'all might not, it might be so far out the damn clouds that y'all think I'm in space or a UFO done got me or something, right? Maybe they got me and pulled me up and brought me back. They beamed me up, Scotty, and beamed me back down. I don't know. But what if he did come down that night and get him, and then put him in that camper, had a game station. Maybe she got all that stuff while she was out running that weekend. But if you pay cash, there's no paper trail, right? So she could have went to different stores and bought things. She could have bought things in advance and had a gaming station and all that. Or maybe he had a gaming station in his travel trailer. I don't know. I'm just saying, think about it this way, right? Because we know he was okay with access for 12-hour shifts, right? So we know that, 12, 16 hours, he'd probably be okay, right? What if, Chris' sister hung out with them the day before, at the roadhouse, like they were around all day, like to get familiar with Sebastian again, to get him kind of happy to be around him again, right? I don't know how much they're around him, probably not very much because they sound like they were hermits, but I don't think Chris let him go outside, period. I think he didn't let him do anything. But I feel that what if a possibility that he came down and got him and took him back up there to the camper and then went to work and then got kicked off the job site at 10:30 a.m. and then went back by the camper, told Sebastian, hey, you stay in here, you keep that door locked, I'm locking it from the outside, you're not coming out, you can play all the gaming you want, you can eat all the snacks you want, you can do whatever the heck you want to do, there's a phone right there, burner phone, right, or IP, or that whatever that other one is, that new stuff that the battery sites have 2 lines of, where you can use any dead cell phone, doesn't have to have service, you can still call and text on it and all that. What if that's the case? They had extra burner phones, right, that nobody could trace but them, and they utilized that in case he needed something, right? Or Chris's sister went up there and sat with him until Chris got back. Because remember, he rushed back, right, to get his camper. And then what if he rushed back? Okay, that means that would be day 2, so that means the next day the Bower Sox would be leaving. What if the reason he left that campground with that camper, maybe he passed him off to them somewhere along the way back, and then they were with them, which he was familiar with them, although they picked on him and were very hateful and mean to him. He's still, in my opinion, trigger warning, in my opinion, allegedly, in my opinion, that's all my opinion, allegedly, remember, don't take it as fact, but maybe they passed him off to the Bower Sox, then they just kept him one night at their house, because they were looking to search in the neighborhood, right? They weren't searching over at grandma's, step-grandma's, or whatever you call her, the stinky socks, the very stinky socks. Anyway, from what I hear, very stinky socks. And then boof, they left to Alaska with Sebastian. And maybe he is in some little, I mean, you got to realize, I don't know if y'all been to Alaska. I've been about 8 times, right? When you get to some of those areas out there, there's nothing. There's no grocery stores, there's no gas stations, there's no newspaper, there's no television, there's a radio, and if you have a TV you can watch movies if you have movies, right? That's about it, as long as you got solar panels or batteries, whatever. But there's not much of nothing out there in that remote wilderness. And say that they acquaintances of somebody that lives in a cabin or lives on their property, maybe in a cabin back in the back of their property or something, if they own something, because they own a lot of stuff everywhere, so they possibly do own something there. I don't know yet, but they do. I'm going this summer, maybe, hopefully, cross my fingers, to the end of summer though, not the beginning of, but the end of summer. But it's possible that he could be down there with the family, and think about how easy they paid this guy $15,000. They got money. Maybe they left him $20,000 cash. Hey, take care of him until we come back next year, right? and we'll bring you some more money next year. They would do it because they don't know he's missing. They don't have newspapers and television, so they don't know. I mean, they are as remote off the grid as off the grid can be out there. And so I've been thinking a lot about that. Like, man, I wonder if somehow, some way, they could have got this boy up there, right? And nobody would freaking know it. And it does like make me think that there is a possibility, right? That this could be. And I know y'all might be laughing at me about it right now because I might be thinking I'm crazy as hell, but I'm telling you, it could happen. Very well it could have happened. I've been up there deer hunting before, and I'm telling you, you can walk days and not see nobody. Not even a plane, and it's nothing. There's nothing out there. And, I mean, those little hunting cabins, it's nothing. Especially in these kind of months, these winter months like this, they don't even leave their cabins unless it's to freaking go out to the root cellar and get something, right? They don't go nowhere. They don't know where to go. They ain't got malls and shopping centers. You know, they took them down there with a PlayStation, an Xbox, something like that, a whole buttload of games. Here, play all you want, eat all you want. I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying it's possible. I know some of y'all probably think I'm funny, but I'm being serious. It's a possibility. I'm not saying he's down there chewing on a freaking walrus bone or something. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's a possibility with the money they have that they could have paid somebody to keep this kid. And all they got to worry about is till he's 18. After that, it don't matter anymore, right? He's 18. He's no longer missing or a runaway. And I know they're not really looking at it that way, but and I'm just saying, right, if he popped up in Alaska in freaking 2 years, he'd be 18. Of course, there'd be some shit hit the fan, but I don't think it'd be as bad as it would be if he was found now. You know? But we have to really think long and hard about the motive. Say, for instance, these 5 CPS cases in Texas are real. From, I think, the second wife or something. I don't know exactly. Don't quote me because I don't know. I'm just saying. You know, he's had so many of them. I read all the names off a while back. But, you know, if he had 5 in Texas, I can't see that. Because I think after the second one, they done locked you up. But then again, who knows, right? He seems to get away with a lot. So I don't know if he's just a con artist or what he is. But he might be. I don't know. I really don't know. Or just, he's a very good charmer or something. I mean, hell, he's had 5 wives. He must be some kind of charmer, right? I'll charm you till I smack you, right? And then I don't charm you no more. Charm me till I get you. I don't know. I mean, we know he didn't want Faith, but now he wants Faith. But it's not that he wants Faith, it's that his mama wants Faith because she wanted a granddaughter. And, I mean, she's got his sister. Why do you need him? She's got kids, right? How many kids she got? I don't know. I mean, they got like a Griswold-sized family, I'm sure. So, I mean, you know, I don't know if they all seem to be like really pick on other people, especially with special needs, which, I mean, that's bullying, right? That's just, all that is bullying, right? You know, and that's the thing, like, you know, say that they did do this, and they do get caught, which if they did, they will, and they're not that smart, and because he blabbered too much on YouTube, and he does go to jail. Can you imagine him in jail? Just because you can cower over children and cower over women, don't mean you're going to cower over Bubba in the back cell, right? You know, the 6'8", 395-pound solid muscle, not solid jelly roll like you are. What do you think? Man, they're gonna mop the floor with you, boy. Wow, oh wow. I'd pay to see that shit. I would. I would pay to see Bubba come out there. You touching my cornbread. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking your cornbread. It wouldn't be like, you gonna eat that? It'd be like, I'm taking your cornbread. And he'd be like, okay, Bubba. Right? Quick. But there's a woman, he'd be like, nah, hell, get away from me. He'd be swinging at him, right? But, you know, it's just, Lee, guys, I just want to know where this young man is. I want the truth to come out. I feel poor Sebastian deserves the truth. He deserves the answer. We got to figure this out. It's starting to really... This is one of the longest missing child cases I think I've ever covered as far as, like, you know, I mean, yes, there's been a few, but like, some of these ones that we've covered recently, like Lily Pepler and Tyler, they've all been found within a month. And it's just such a, he just cannot be in that area. I feel that he cannot be in that area. Yes, I'm going to continue to search because I will never give up, but I feel that he's further away. Like, I do feel like he's either in Alaska or he's somewhere that they have acquaintances along that route. Whether it be Canada, whether it be at the border, whether it be Philadelphia. I've always thought Philadelphia rings a bell to me for some reason. I think Terry's got a lot of ties to Philadelphia, and I'm wondering if somehow, some way, he's got somebody there that's you just think about it for a minute. As many people as they know that are just like them, because I'm sure their whole family's just like them, right? Abusive, bullies, mean to children. Unless you're a perfect child, they're mean to you, right? Like, well, I don't know, they're mean to Faith, and she's not on the spectrum or anything, and they're mean to her, and they're mean to her sister, which finally called Kathy out. I'm so glad she did that. Way to go, girl. I'll put you on my channel, you want to call her out. And you'll be my first live. And I feel that, like what are we looking in the wrong places? Are we? We got to realize that they swept that area twice. 2 big pushes with canine dogs. If he would have been there in the beginning, the dogs would have found him. I know they're trying to say, oh, he went out here and went to the fence. And you can see that officer that's put his foot up on the tailgate on the bumper ride, and he's kind of leaned over the truck bed like that. And Chris is over here talking to him, and he's saying, hey, he went out there and went out the back and went up the fence. And he's like, okay. He don't believe you. He already been told by his own officers that there's no scent trail. He doesn't believe what you're saying. I think they were already pinging them as suspects because of CPS. Like, they can see that. They know that. They're not dumb. And I think that's why they gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then TBI said no more, because FBI, Secret Service were in there, and they had to look professional. They could not show favoritism. And so they basically just said, that's it. We're going to do the investigation side of this thing. We believe something's wrong. We have enough camera footage to prove that something went down. The Amber Alerts, the FBI flyers, all of it makes sense. They put that kid out, or put that kid in a car and got him out of there. I'm not saying that it was foul play, because I've always said I'm 50-50 on that. He could be, and can you imagine how big Philadelphia, all the way from there to Philadelphia? Say, for instance, you go to a rural area like they live in. You find a big old beautiful house out there that your buddy owns. You know nobody's ever going to question him. They ain't got no neighbors for way off, right? Sebastian can run and play all he wants out there in the bushes, and it wouldn't bother nobody. Nobody would see him. And they pay them to keep him for a while. Till the court stuff, till he gets custody back, or he tries to win Faith over, which he's never going to win Faith. They're not done. If he was going to win her and he had that much pull, that Tennessee courtroom would have not awarded custody to Nina. If he had that much pull. That's why I'm starting to realize he don't have as much pull as we thought he had. Because if he did, he would have won that case. And evidently that case made Kathy Stinky Socks freaking furious, off the chains mad, oh my God, you're gonna tell me no? Well, who are you? Just a Rolo. Go roll on back home. I mean, it's so hard to take a child from a mother. We know this. And all y'all mothers out there, shout out to y'all, right? Y'all got the robo grip, right? That judge's gonna look at that dad, no matter if he's the best dad in the entire world, and look at that mom and be like, mama, you get weekend. Right? That's how it is. This is how it works. Why? Because moms are different. They supposed to hold their babies tight. They love their babies. They cherish their babies. They don't put them out. They don't pick on them. They don't allow a husband that's not even the bio dad to take a belt or take a hand and beat on their kids. I guarantee you, any one of y'all on this channel right now, If you were married to somebody that wasn't the biological father of your child, and they were special needs with autism, and he walked up, took a belt off, and swatted your kid, what would you do? You done throw that man out the door unless you done throwed him in the gutter first. And I know y'all are all saying, you damn right. I know that. I'm not dumb. I know. I have 2 girls. I know. I would never win over mama. Mama's freaking Wonder Woman. I would never win over mama. Mama's like superhero. Of course, daddy. Oh, yeah, daddy. Daddy gives us money. Daddy buys us everything we want, mama. Daddy always gives us. Yeah, but I shouldn't, because mama has to make the rules, right? And I just make it harder on mama sometimes. And that's why I try to always, can I do this before I do it, right? You got to be careful sometimes, because you don't want to get in too much trouble. I can always say, mamas are usually always right. And my grandma played a big part of my life growing up. And I got to learn the old school, right? My grandpa was the fighter pilot in the war. And Mr. 5 a.m., let's go. It's time to work till dark, and then you quit. You know, and I had, luckily, I was blessed to experience that at such a young age, right? And not everybody gets to. So when I look at these cases, I kind of think of it in the old school mentality, right? Like, what would my grandpa do, or what would my grandpa think? Because he was a very, very smart man. Anybody that can fly a plane like that is smart, right, to me. And, you know, he would always say, you can always tell when somebody's lying, right? And you learn these things, like how their eyebrows move, or how their eyes move, or how their lips move, or how their nose move. Everybody has their own way, right? You can always figure them out. And we know that Chronicles of Olivia interview, and just take y'all for example. If somebody was to ask y'all, and your child was missing, and you got your few little bit on air to beg for your child, are you going to say, we love you, we want you home, you're not in trouble? That's it. That's all you say. BS, right? Hell, even Candace said more than that. I mean, damn. I think Don even said more than that. It's like, did they not realize by doing what they did that they were going to get this? They knew that. They had to know that. Unless they thought, oh, it's small town, it's not going to blow up. Maybe that's what they thought. I don't know. Maybe they thought it would just kind of, it's Tennessee, it'll go away in a couple of weeks or a month. I don't think they expected it to go this much. I don't think they expected Sebastian Drake Rogers to touch as many hearts as he did, which is truly amazing. I wish, if I had one thing that I could change in all of this, all the true crime world, I would want for the way that we've looked at Sebastian Rogers' case to be on all the cases in true crime. To where everybody would get the same awareness, right? That would be amazing. Because some of these cases get nothing. Like Harley Morris gets a little bitty bit. Yes, I know he's 29, but he's still somebody's child. Right? A lot of us probably have kids that age. He's still somebody's child. You know, Caleb Harris, like all these, you know, these cases, like you see all these parents like grieving and fighting. And even when their children are 29 years old or 20 or 21, they're out there every day talking to every outlet. They're begging, they're pleading, they're asking everybody for help. Please, 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 please. Right? And we got none of that, only from one side. And I really do feel that Seth didn't come out in the very beginning because Chris was trying to keep him quiet. And I think once he realized, hold on, man, something's screwed up here. Ain't no damn way my son walked out of the house with no shoes on. And he left his phone, and he left the switch. And now you shoving a picture in my face saying, look, he was fine last night. Okay, that's why you took that picture at the roadhouse, was to show your proof of life. Just like why you turn your dash cam on when you ain't no popo, so you could get his voice, so you had your proof of life. The same reason you went out that door at midnight and walked around in all black to make, oh yeah, that's him. Come on. Or you put him out and made him walk the circle and come back to the backyard. Like, they had this so, they thought they had this so right. But little did they know they had it so wrong. And I hope that all comes out. I really feel it's going to. I wonder now how much communication they getting from the popo. I bet it ain't very much. I bet it's not very much. And because, he did use them a lot. Like this agency, that agency, the state agencies, the FBI, the Secret Service, the Sheriff Department, the SWAT team. He's using all these in the beginning, but he ain't doing that shit no more. Since before Green Hoodie debunking, he ain't done that. Now it's more or less like I can't use those words because I know that looks bad because they didn't tell me half of that. I'm just saying it because I've been kissing and sucking up to their assholes just to thank them every day for not finding Sebastian, right? Like, I mean, you don't thank someone until they find them, right? You can show respect, but you're not going to gradually say, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, you ain't found my child yet. Get out there and find my damn kid. Then I'll pat your ass on the back. That's how I feel about it. Yes, I appreciate your help, what you're doing right now, and you're going, but please do more. Like Seth kept saying, do more, do more, do more, do more. Let the FBI in here. Give it to them. Give the case to them. He did not stop. That's what you should do. Not, thank you, you're magic, you're magic. No, hell no. No. Because you can think them all you want. It don't mean that they're not looking at you the way they're looking at you. They've been looking at you since the way they've been looking at you, probably since day 3, if I had to guess. Because he clearly said, there is no proof to me to show that kid walked out of that house. You make that shit make sense. But you're going to thank him every day. And then when the FBI put out a reward, you're going to give them a big old fat thank you. When they're looking at you just shaking their head saying, if you only knew. If you only knew what we know. Because you got to remember, they can take those footages and they could almost get that. And I'm going to say this word because one of these people in this case uses this word a lot. They can almost get those photos crystal clear. So, to me, I believe they know who's in those photos. And like Jennifer Coffendacker said, shout out to her. They can take those pictures and those images and those videos and make them things almost so crystal clear that they could probably tell, okay, that's not Sebastian, that's Katie in all black. Or that's Chris in all black. I don't think it would have been Chris because Sebastian wasn't nowhere near the size of Chris, right? He was a little skinny boy. And if you're far enough away, Katie's more of the height, and she had on all black that night, right? So she didn't really have to change anything. All she had to do was just probably take off her pato powers, right? Her shoes, and go out there barefooted for a minute. Throw on some glasses. Oh no, doesn't she have glasses? I think she has glasses anyway, right? Or just for reading, but she has glasses. I bet they're square frame too. She just go out there and, make herself look like Sebastian. Like I always thought maybe she wore that black hat, that like security hat, that was pulled back like a little kid, like Sebastian size head, and then threw it off in that pond. That maybe why that dog jumped, but they didn't find no scent. They never tracked no scent. And she messed up, She might have put his shoes on to try to throw them dogs, to give them a scent, to make it look like it, but she didn't realize that her sweaty feet were stronger and smellier probably than Sebastian's feet, right? Because she eat a whole lot more. So her feet were sweating a lot more than little skinny Sebastian's feet would have been sweating. I'm just saying, man. I don't know. That got me on that one. But anyway, remember, allegedly, these are just my damn opinions. But here we go again tonight. I haven't even got into the good points yet, and I'm almost at an hour. I got to cut it off now. Because y'all never watch the whole dang hour. But I got to get back to the 20 minutes ones. But I just can't get it all in there because I'm trying to explain, like how I feel about this. Like, there's got to be something more that we're missing. But I believe they know, right? I think FBI know. And I don't think FBI would even tell, Hendersonville or that little sheriff's office. They're not going to tell them what they find anyway. Not until they got them arrest warrant papers typed up and they finna send SWAT over there and U.S. Marshals over there to kick that door in. they're not going to spill the beans up early. It's just kind of like I think her lie detector test. I don't think she passed it. I bet you she probably failed it. And, I mean, of course they're going to tell her she passed so she don't burn off. But I'd still like to see his receipt, right? They ain't never said one thing about him taking one. Like I said, just like they ain't said one thing about him being at work that night. Now, I'm not saying that morning he wasn't there because he could have got there by morning, right? Left Sebastian in that camper, went back after he got booted out of work, you know, because evidently his boss said, you're not coming back here until this shit is squared up. Trigger warning. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. But, you know, earmuffs, right? Earmuffs. And, you know, he could have left that boy in there playing games, all the snacks he wanted. That would have kept him in there. Maybe that's why they were starving the kid, was so they could stick him in that camper and he would just eat, and play games and not have to deal with nobody all night long until the next morning when Chris said, I'll be back, right? And then I'll take you home. And then, of course, he didn't. He gave him to his mama. Oh, they're going to take you somewhere. They're going to buy you some stuff, right? You go with them for a little while. And poor Sebastian probably didn't know. He probably didn't understand what the hell was going on. If that's what happened, right? I mean, of course, it's just my theories, my speculations. But, you know, I mean, I'm just a big alleged bubble. But I'm just trying to think, is there any other possibilities that could have happened? Well, yes, there's numbers of possibilities. But that light has something to do with what happened. And it's either him picking him up and taking him to that camper or him picking him up and doing something way worse. And I want to hope and pray that it's him taking him to that camper and he gave him all the snacks in the world and all the whatever in the world, right? And said, I'm going to go run the crane for a little bit. I'll be back in a couple hours. And that's it, right? He couldn't call from the camper now. If Sebastian was in there, he couldn't call and report him missing from in there. You know, and was that's what took 30 minutes that morning, you know? Were they calling that other phone, checking on him to make sure he's all right before they called the Popo? You know, I don't know if they would have left him a phone because he might have tried to call 911 or call Seth maybe. But I don't think they would have done that, but it's a possibility. But I think that if they did that, they left him with a game, bunch of new games, bunch of badass shit. You know, you got to remember, right after Christmas, they could have bought the stuff for Christmas and just not given it to him yet, right? Saved it for this plan, right? And did it then. But I don't know. But the 26th date has some meaning. We know that. And somehow, some way, the Tinkerbell lights, I believe, hold the answers. I think that holds the truth. That and then the other tapes they have now that we know, right? That car and all that stuff. We know that now. And if that man is alleged to be right, and that is somebody that frequently visits that neighborhood, what does that mean? Is that Chris's sister? She frequently visits that neighborhood. Is that Kathy Bowersock? She frequently comes in and out of that neighborhood. You should have been a little clearer with what you said, right? You know, like, is it somebody that comes every now and then? Somebody that comes once a week? Is it somebody from the construction side? Is it an engineer? Is it somebody surveying lots? Is it somebody, or is it Kathy Bowersock, Terry Bowersock, Chris's sister, his cousin that he was playing poker with? Was it any of those people that frequently meets the neighborhood that picked up Sebastian from Katie? Because like I said, the dead weight, you know, she went out there slow, ran back, right? So that means you're carrying somebody most likely, or you're packing some weight out there, and then you dead weight coming back. And I don't think she was running out there with a garbage bag full of Twinkies, you know, although it's a possibility. Maybe she went and hid them from Chris. I don't know. But I don't think that's the case. You know, I really don't. I'm sorry. But, you know, I don't know, guys. It could be one of anything. It could be one in a million things. But I feel that they hold the answers. And I feel that there's going to be some arrests coming soon, in my opinion. And I could be totally freaking wrong, and I could be on Mars for all I know. I don't know. But I do feel that something's coming down the chute, right? And somebody finna light that cannon light, that fuse, right? and I pray that it is. I pray there's justice for this young man. We can't give up Sebastian. We have to keep up the fight. We have to keep up the prayers. Number one, prayers for this young man. Prayers for all the voiceless, all the missing. Because Sebastian is voiceless right now. He doesn't have a voice. He might wherever he's hidden, if that's the case, or if it's not and it's something worse, then he doesn't have a voice that way either. So we have to continue to be his voice, right? we have to pray for this young man every day, right? We have to pray to God that he's going to somehow give us the answers, or somehow get justice for this young man. And we might not ever know where he is. But as long as we get justice, yes, it doesn't help and it doesn't take away the pain if we don't find him. But if someone gets punished and charged and goes to prison for this, at least there's a little bit of justice, right? There's never closure, but there's justice, which means Sebastian Wayne Rogers got justice, but he didn't get closure, right? So we need both. We need to either find him and bring him home and let them decide what they're going to do with this young man and who he's going to go with, or we need to keep searching in the woods, and that's where he is, right? I don't know. I hope that he's not in those woods. I pray that he's not in those woods. But not a peep at all out of the kid, or a sighting at all, tells me one of two things. Either it was foul play involved, or he's somewhere way over in another, like Alaska, in a remote area, or Canada in a remote area. You got to remember, Chris Proudfoot's posting crane jobs on his Facebook in Canada, right? Is that kid in Canada? Are they going to go be with him again, right? I don't know. Anything is freaking possible with these two. You know what I'm saying? These two damn Fruit Loops, you never know, right? It's Crisp and Quake, Special and K. That's how I look at it. Starts with a K, don't it? Special K. Special KT. But I don't know. I just wish they would come clean, you know. Just tell the truth and get it over with, right? Whatever you do know, which we know you know something more than what you've always said. We know that. Or you wouldn't have been twisting over your tongue. You wouldn't have been lying so many times. You wouldn't have been changing your story so many times. The shit would have added up right from the first time. And the story would have been the same, and it would have never changed if you were being honest. And we know that she's not honest. We damn sure know that he's not honest, because he ain't done nothing but lie out here on these streets. And then try to pay somebody $15,000 to debunk some shit. That ain't never going to get debunked. Because Popo doesn't know what those videos are, and they're not saying anything. And they're saying, oh, it's nothing, just to keep them from thinking it's nothing. But down deep, they know. I feel that they know. I feel they got enough to probably do it. But I think they're just trying to tie up all the loose ends right before they just smack them cuffs on. And I believe, like I said, I've always, if y'all remember, before I even had my channel, when I was on Dolly, I'd call into Dolly all the time live, right? I always said I think there's 5 people involved. And I still feel that there's 5 people involved. And I don't know, time will tell, right? It's what my grandma always say, time will tell. And it will, time will tell. And shout out to everybody covering this case, everybody pushing for this young man, everybody praying for this young man, everybody wanting justice for this young man. You know, and we need to pray for all of them. We need to pray for justice for every single one of these voices out there, every one of these missing, whether they're 40-year-old Nikki McCann, 50-year-old Suzanne Simpson, I think 51. You know, doesn't matter the age. If they don't have a voice, we need to be their voice. And that's what we got to work on, guys. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving y'all opportunity to look at some different avenues, right? And we do our research together. I've been getting some really good emails of some areas to search, right? There's like a wedding place that has like a lake and stuff that someone sent to me. Of course, I get a lot of information from a lady in New York, and, you know, she's always really positive about her information, and it's really good information. And there's a lot of y'all that reach out, and it's great. I like that, because sometimes it makes me step back and think, okay, let me look at it this way and see if I come up with what I'm coming up with now, right? And sometimes you have to take a little step back and look at it and say, yeah, possible. And then you kind of think about it for a few days, and then kind of like the Alaska thing, I always thought in the beginning, because I thought that was weird that they left right after like that, and that he overlapped the time, right? Like he waited, and then boom, I got to go back that next morning. I got to go back to the camper, right? Okay, so if he had left Sebastian there, he had been there for a while. Now, if his sister came up there and took care of him that evening, or Terry or Kathy or somebody else, that's fine. That could have been why Kathy was seen at that store that morning, you know? I don't know. Maybe she was going that way after that. I don't know. Because I don't know if she stayed there all day or if she vanished, right? I don't know. Did somebody go up there and sit with him until Chris came back? I don't know. I mean, I know they were packing up to get ready to go to Alaska, so, and they drove this time instead of flying like they normally did, so it was a little bit differently. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know. There's just so many ways that you don't know, right? You don't know what we don't know. And that's kind of what Eric Craddock said. But I think they know what they know, and they just want us to think they don't know what they don't know, right? That's how I feel it is. So I don't know. We'll see. Just keep our prayers up. Guys, justice for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is a must. We have to keep up the fight, guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. I'm about frozen to death, so I'm going to go in before I get hypothermia. And we'll see y'all in the next one. The fire's going down. I've added wood, but it's just wanting to die down. So y'all keep doing the digging. See what y'all come up with. Send me y'all's opinions. And hey, Thursday nights we're going to start doing like an hour of just all kinds of true crime, all kinds of cases. So y'all start giving me some lists of cases you want me to talk about that are important to y'all, and I'm going to take a vote on all of them, and I'm going to write them all down. I have a couple of the people helping me. We're going to write them all down, total them up, and then next Thursday, from a week from tonight, we're going to talk about those. And then we're going to, we're going to get three different cases, and we're going to talk about them for an hour on Thursdays. And we're going to start getting into these hour things. So I'm trying to work on getting ready to go live, and I need some practice. So y'all help give me some cases, even if it's new cases. Doesn't matter. Throw them out there. If it's something we're not covering yet, do you want covered, throw it out there. And we'll dig into it for y'all. That'll give me a week to kind of dig in, right? And that'll be good enough to get the basics of the case down. So we appreciate y'all guys. And hey, give me some thumbs up. I'm learning that I need to get those numbers up, because the 3.6% of the videos, if it has 100 views but only 10 thumbs up, the rating is low, right? It doesn't give me a high rating. Even if the video is good, it's not giving me a high rating. So every other video, if that's easier for y'all, hit the like button so we'll at least get every other video boosted. Because if we don't start boosting them, I'm going to put them on members only. No, I'm just playing. I wouldn't do that. But anyway, guys, y'all be good. Y'all be safe. I can't put every video on there, but I do have to do so many a week on there. And I enjoy that. It's fun because they're paying, they deserve, right, their members only videos. So shout out to all the members. Shout out to all the new members today. I saw like 3 or 4 more sign up today. That's amazing. That's wonderful. Thank y'all. And I understand not everybody can sign up, and that's why I want to do it both ways, right? That's the fun part of it. We got to reach everybody because I love everybody. So I just have a big heart. I love everyone. So we got to reach out to everyone. And a lot of y'all been here with me since day one. I know some of them have faded off and gone. They're not around no more, but I know that they're still there, and they come back every now and then. So it's great to see a bunch of new faces. It's great to see a lot of the old faces. It's just fun. It's fun because I enjoy reaching out to all y'all every day on comments. Yes, it's work, but I enjoy it because it's fun. I get to understand what y'all think or what y'all's opinions, right? That's what's fun about this. So anyway, y'all guys have a good night. Be safe, please. Stay warm if you're where it's cold. Stay out of the weather. We'll see y'all in the next one tomorrow night. And we love y'all guys. We appreciate y'all. Remember, allegedly, this is all my opinions. Don't take it as facts. It's just my theories of what I think happened, allegedly. And trigger warning times 100 million. But justice for Sebastian Rogers is a must. Pray for him every day. All right, guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.